Since the beginning of time, the concept of employment has been in existence. Even dating back to the biblical era, the concept of work and employment can be found in the sacred scriptures. And with technological advancements, the story of employment is evolving. Indeed, the form and nature of work shapes civilization and continues to transform the economic, political, and cultural landscape. For all too long, the people that provide the labor capital for employers have been dismissed, silenced, and oftentimes abused and taken advantage of by systems that work together to oppress. I am attorney Iam.nesh, and I work for the people. I am a wife, mother, and employment law attorney. I have experienced your pain and litigated your issues. But since I was a youngster, I have been using my voice to fight on behalf of those disenfranchised. This channel is called Bad Business Behavior, and we are the people's BBB.
Hey, what's going on out there? I'm attorney Nix, and this is my reaction to bad business behavior. You know what? That's BBB. You heard it right, guys. We are the people's BBB, the People's Better Business Bureau. So today I'm going to be reacting to, first of all, let me break it down. Okay, so I'm from the school of old school customer service and just the old school way of doing things. And as an employment law attorney, sometimes I come across businesses behaving badly. So I came across this video that I'm about to react to, and my girl, her name is Miss Living Lavishly with Nisha. You guys, you can check her out on YouTube. But this is where I got this amazing story from, and I just had to react to it because, the business is just major violating in major ways. So I'm going to react to it and also give you guys some tips just in case you land in the hot seat and it's time for you to act, so you'll know what to do, okay? And this is coming from yours truly, Attorney Nix. The game is to be told and not sold. But if you want some amazing content, additional content, and some behind the scenes action, make sure to click here on the bottom so that you can subscribe and also get all types of premium content and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see Miss Nisha and what she had going on.
So I ended up changing jobs, and I told y'all that I went to this rheumatology office, right? And so let me just explain. So the rheumatology office is literally like maybe 7.5 miles from my home, from our new home, which is very, very convenient with these gas prices constantly, changing. And the schedule was, I was scheduled to work Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So about 24 hours a week. The pay was good, whatever. And I was like, okay, so I was supposed to do my own scheduling for the patients. I was supposed to,
Okay, so just to put everything into context for y'all, Miss Nisha is a nurse, and she specifically is an infusion nurse. Now, I think she says she works in the rheumatology department. However, she administers infusions for patients. And I will say that, like I said, it's the wild, wild west out here. And a lot of my clients who are bringing discrimination claims oftentimes work in the medical field. So Miss Nisha, though she doesn't have, or she's not bringing a lawsuit, she works in the medical field, and she found a job, and it's, it checks off her boxes as far as the salary being close to her home, which a lot of us, we have our internal checks and, boxes that we check off. So, bam, bam, boom. Job is checking off so far. So far, so good.
And like, basically run the infusion room. When I came to the interview, you know how God tells you stuff and we don't listen. We don't listen because it just seemed this is nothing, this job is nothing. I can handle this. This is whatever, But when I went in there, it was a girl who was coming out from interviewing. And then there was a piece of printer paper where the doctor who interviewed me had wrote, like, she had about 15 names on this paper, right? And she kept forgetting which one I was.
Okay, first of all, that should be a major red flags for all of my people out there, my BBs out there. If you go to an interview and they have a printout paper outside of the door with all of the candidates' name on that paper, hopefully we have something internally. The Holy Spirit is just moving something, like your discernment alarm is just going off. Like, that should be a red flag. I'm not saying at this point that you should just write the job off, but let Miss Nisha, and did she not say that she kept getting me confused, like she didn't know me or something? She said something. Let's run it back or play it and we'll.
So I had to keep reminding her, like, no, I'm this person. Like, we never really interviewed. It was basically like, tell me about yourself. Oh, yeah, I got a daughter that's going, oh, I'm going on vacation. Oh, you are? Yeah, I'm going on vacation too. Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And then, but she kept forgetting who I was. Like, she could not remember my name. And so then I asked her, I said, you got like 20 people on this list. Like, how would what is your interviewing process like? You know what I'm saying? Like, when would I know if I got the job? She's like, well, no one really showed up. It's only like 2 people that showed up and I have 1 more tomorrow. So I don't know.
So you're trying to tell me that this seems like the most basic elementary interview process. So you have a list of names, list of the candidate's name posted outside the door, like y'all finna go into 1st grade. Check, check, check. You know what I'm saying? And she keep forgetting who you are. And then she's like, well, what is the interview process? It seems like she's just asking her stuff about her personal life, not asking her about her skills. She's just trying to, the interview lady or the supervisor, potential boss is just trying to like figure out, okay, do you match the culture here at a basic level? Not what type of skills do you have to make sure that you're qualified for this job, but like, do you have kids and da, da, da. Red flag 2, but okay, we just gonna keep moving. They're not gonna get a BBB strike yet. They're not gonna get a BBB strike because as we go on, there's some interesting things that they could get some BBB strikes for. But right now, still, it should still be something going on. Like, okay, something is not right.
But I really like you. I think this position will be great for you. Okay. So fast forward. She asked me for my, so once again, we're wrapping up this little short interview that's really not an interview. And, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And I'm like, the fact that she has these people's name on a piece of paper, and then she was asking me for my resume. And I was like, I sent you my resume on Indeed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just little things that was just like, this lady don't even remember who she interviewed or whatever. Fast forward, with me and Ariel go to Mexico a few days later for, that girls trip. She calls me and says, hi, I don't know if you remember me, but you interview for a position. I'm like, who don't remember somebody they interview with? So she's like, I would like to offer you the job, but I want to check your references. Can you send me your resume? I said, well, I'm in Mexico. I don't have the best service out here. However, you know what I'm saying? Like, my resume was on Indeed, but I can definitely text you.
Chaos and confusion. So if you have someone to give you a call and you told them that you are not going to be available during a certain period of time, and the potential employer is trying to get in contact with you while you are out, and you've already explained to them that, hey, I'm not available during this time, then 9 times out of 10, when you actually do work for that employer, guess what? They're not going to respect your boundaries. They're going to call you while you're out on leave. They're going to call you while you're out on vacation, and they're not going to respect your boundaries. If they are not respecting your boundaries as a potential employee, when you're saying, hey, I'm not going to be in town. And then second of all, did you see where she's asking for her references again? I don't know if they got to that part or not yet, but
So I text her, the information. She calls me back like 5 minutes later and was like, okay, so I would like to offer you the job. When can you start? Can you come in tomorrow to shadow? I said, no, I'm in Mexico. you know, so I start at the end of June. And the patients are letting me know that they are sick and tired of having new nurses.
okay,
And
let's
that
pause. So I'm going to say this to you. So I'm going to give them one BBB strike so far. Okay, because that whole interview process was just a cluster beep. Okay, it was just a cluster beep. Y'all know what I want to say. They're gonna get one BBB strike for that, because again, they calling her while she out on Mexico. They already told her, hey, I'm not gonna be here. They asking for her references when clearly your references should be they should have easy access to your references if they have your resume on file. So they seem confused. They got this list. Okay, yes, so they get one.
So it's a BBB strike, but it's nothing illegal yet.
Not anything illegal yet, just fishy. Okay, so they're just gonna get one BBB shot. But let me tell you why the second one is a BB strike, and you finna get this off rip. If your patients or customers are bad mouthing you while they're getting infusions, that's a problem. So if your patients or your customers is complaining to you as a new employee and basically bad mouthing your new employer or your potential employer, that should be a definite God mega 10 commandment sign. Like, okay, what is going on with this business reputation where they customers who's paying them money to get these services are bad mouthing my employer? Like, what's up with that?
they need me to stay. They're all letting me know, like, we like your personality. We really, really think you'll be a great fit here. But, I've been coming here for a couple years. I've had like 5 infusion nurses. They just leave. I don't know if it's us. I was like, no, it's not y'all, because the girl had already told me it's not the patients. It's the doctor and it's the other lady who works there. I'm going to talk about her in just a second. They don't even have, here's the thing, they do infusions. They don't even have a policy in place if someone has a allergic reaction. No one knows what to do. No one knows. There's no policy. There's nothing in place, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just things that should be done, especially if you've been there for 15 years. The girl even told me, the girl who I replaced, that they don't even have, like, I don't know how this is possible, but they don't have like a OSHA, a JCO, or nothing that a regulatory agency that comes in annually or biannually to like make sure things are like running well.
Okay, this is where they get in their third BBB strike from, in the people's BBB court. Okay, first of all, if you are working for an employer or a new employer, especially in a industry which is regulated by the government or regulated by some type of independent healthcare organization or org or something of that sort, and they don't have policies, if your employer, your potential employer, does not have policies regarding employee, not employee, but patient safety or employer safety, or if they don't have any policies or procedures that are implemented that you can actually physically see, which is a lot of times so important when you're proceeding with Title VII claims against your employer. Like, what is their policy? What is their procedure? Oh, yeah, well, nursing moms must be able to take breaks whenever they're needing to so that they can express their milk. Okay, where is that written at? Or is it a custom or something that's supposed to happen in the workplace? And so, because of the fact that a nurse, an infusion nurse that works in a healthcare setting, is saying that this employer does not have any policies or procedures governing the safety of the workers or the patients, that's a third strike, folks.
Or that they're up to standards. None of this stuff. Their equipment is not being none of this. Okay. So I'm realizing that there's a turnover issue. And I'm realizing that the reason there's a turnover issue is because there is no policies and procedures. There's no consistency. There's some shady-ish going on here, honey. When I tell you shady, it's shady. A whole lot, but I'm peeping stuff. And I was like, so you constantly get the patients that are like, are you going to stay? Can you stay? Are you going to be here longer than a couple months? And I'm like, that's my plan. So fast forward, y'all, to today. Yesterday, she called me about, because she'll call me randomly and ask me stuff that just is common sense. Like, I don't know if y'all know this, but in order for a person to get an infusion, you have to be well hydrated. You have to, because your veins are not going to be the most cooperative if you, do not be well hydrated. So you'll get a patient that comes in who hasn't had any hydration. So when you go to give them an IV, the vein will what's called blow. So, or if you're not feeling well, I'm not going to infuse you if you're having an issue with something else. So on Thursday of last week, I had 3 patients. One, I just could not get an IV on because of her health conditions. And then the other 2 just wasn't hydrated and it just didn't work out. But granted, I had 13 patients that day. So I did 10 infusions, but 3 of them did not. So she called me on Monday, like, well, what's going on? Da, da, da. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, what happened. But she doesn't understand anything but rheumatology. She has no idea about how the veins work. She has no idea about hydration for the, infusions. She has no idea about nothing. That's always her answer. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I started not having a good feeling about what was going on or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and reach out to this other past infusion nurse to ask her, like, what is the deal with this? Like, what was really going on with y'all? So she spills the tea for like an hour and a half. You should look at the reviews. Matter of fact, let me just send them to you. So she's screenshotting, the Google reviews on this practice. And this is what's going on and da-da-da-da-da, woo, woo, woo. And now just all types of stuff. Fast forward to today. So I walk in, she's there. Usually she's not there. I said, oh, she about to probably let me go. So she calls me in there. She's giving me the spiel about how she wasn't meant to be a boss. This was not, something that, she ever planned to do, but she was having a hard time finding a job. Just woo-doo, just, and how, like she wished that I would have told her I was not happy and, whatever. And I was like, she's like, yeah, I talked to the previous nurse yesterday. She's like, she told me that you called her as well. And, and she's like, so, what? I realized that, I have not been the best boss. I didn't even realize all these things were going on. Baby, you've been here for 15 years and you've had probably 15 infusion nurses. So help make it make sense. Like, what I'm saying? And y'all haven't even been infusing nothing but a couple years. So make it make sense. How did you not know? Like, because according to the other nurse, she told you all this. So she was like, I just didn't sleep last night. I'm going to have to go ahead and let go of the other Black girl because I realized that she's the problem with getting.
Okay, so this is another red flag, and this is a major strike because we have now potential breaches of just the standard of conduct in the workplace. And depending on what type of information is relayed to the employee, you probably have a potential lawsuit. Okay, so you need to be careful, bosses, when you are talking with your reports, because of the fact that it should not be acceptable in any workplace work situation. I don't care if you're the boss. I don't care if I don't care who's the boss. It should not be an acceptable situation where you are telling another coworker that is not on your executive team, that is not on your management team, that is not a team lead or a supervisor. You should not be telling them that you are about to fire their coworker. That is just not inappropriate. And I'm not sure, it seemed like there may have been a lot of personal information that is divulged or that was divulged, and you have to be really, really careful, because in the workplace, of course, we have highways of sensitive information that flows across between coworkers and, sometimes the tea, like she was just talking about, in the workplace, period. So if you as a supervisor is divulging personal information to another employee, for example, I get a lot of times that people are, disabled or entitled to Title VII protection because they may be classified as disabled under the ADA. So you have a lot of medical information sometimes that supervisors are privy to, especially if an employee is going on FMLA leave and things of that sort. And sometimes some of the things that I notice in these lawsuits that is common and that is preventable is when your supervisor or someone on a part of your management staff shares or divulge confidential information to the person's coworker. For what purpose? Okay, so that is why it is that they're getting because of the fact that you're divulging personal information.
Told me when I started that I would handle A, B, C, and D, and I'm only handling, B out of whatever. And I was like, but I'm not here for confrontation. I'm not here for any of that. I just come, I do my job, and I go home, whatever. So she spills about, God sends people into your life, for a reason, and, just all this, like, just, and I feel like the reason God sent you here is because it was to open my eyes to realize that, things were not working out the way that they should be, and that I'm about to lose another nurse. So with that being said, I think I'm going to have the previous nurse to come back and put in, because she's going to help my business to grow. I'm going to go ahead and give her all of the things that she asked for, and she's going to completely run the infusion center, and she's going to just take over and do all of these things because the plan that she had was just amazing. I said, so what is it that you're wanting from me? And she's like, well, I said, what are you, where are we going with this? You know what I'm saying? Because she's just rambling. I'm talking about from A to Z. She's just rambling. And I was like, this trying to fire me without saying I'm firing you. Okay. So I'm like, she's like, yeah, she's going to. I said, so you're saying basically that you're going to give her my job and she's going to basically just kind of run your whole situation. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I said, oh, okay. I said, so when is she coming back? Well, she'll be here next week. I said, oh, okay. Well, thank you anyway. I'm going to go ahead and head out. She's like, oh, you're not going to work the rest of the week? You're not going to do the infusions today through Thursday? I said,
That's a WP. That's what my sister calls it.
no, you didn't give me a notice. So no, I'm not going to stay, because truthfully, if you would have had me stay, I'd have told all these patients what you don't want them to know. So no, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna get my bag and I'm gonna head on out.
Be careful with that now, y'all. Just be careful with that, because I know sometimes, like, sometimes these managers, they be having a little bit of WP. That's not white power, white privilege. Sometimes they feel a little, testy, and they try us, and we might want to go and just spill the beans to everybody. But you got to be so careful with that. Be so careful with telling the tea to their customers and things of that sort, because you don't want to be a named defendant in the lawsuit. Not saying that, she would have definitely been a named defendant in the lawsuit if she would have went and told the clients what all they were doing that was illegal. But
So she's like, you can't even stay today? You got 13 patients that you think I'm about to go in here and which I done already told you 13 patients in one day is too many? You think I'm about to go in here and slave and do 13 patients? Baby, no. No. I said, I said, no, I cannot. I said, you think that's fair of you to ask me to stay when you just told me that you let me go because you want to bring her back to run everything and you pay her more than me? No. I'm going to get my bag and go. Thanks, but no thanks. You know what I'm saying? And she has plans to fire right after me. And my husband's like, you didn't get fired. He's like, it wasn't really a fire. It was a transition. No, I mean.
it was a transition. Okay.
Even though she ain't say it, I ain't never been fired before.
I have. Listen, they say that you ain't a boss until you've been fired. Okay? Because you cannot accept authority. That's just the thing about it. If you've been fired, that might be a good thing.
And it wasn't something that I've done wrong. It's not something that I've done wrong. She just realized, you know what I'm saying? She just does not have any managerial skills, and she's going to now put somebody else in a position to run her job, run her business. And she just feels like, well, let me bring her back and see if she can run my business, because she felt the other Black girl, who she never comes to find out appointed to be the office manager, even though she kept telling us that the other Black girl was the office manager.
That seems real exploitive.
So as I'm walking out, I said, Nisha, just get your stuff and go. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. But she's like, oh, the other Black girl, I don't want to say her name, it was like, how's your daughter doing in school? I said, Nisha, just get your bag and go. Just don't say nothing. So as I'm getting my bag and walking on out, she comes behind me. Her and the receptionist comes behind me and was like, what's going on? What's going on? I was like, well, she just let me go because she said, oh, girl coming back. And she's going to run the whole business. And I said, she's like, what? She's like, are you serious? I said, I'm positive. She said she's coming back next week and she's going to run this place. And that, she feels that person is going to help her business to grow. I said, she's like, what? I said, and you might want, I said, Nisha, girl, you might also want to go on and get your bag and go too, because she literally about to let you go too. She said,
you see, Nisha had the tea before the other Black girl did. See, that's what I'm saying. You should always have the tea first as an employee. This is your livelihood. That's not Nisha's livelihood. Why Nisha know that? So that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to be real careful. And what it seemed like is that this doctor probably didn't know. When you have your own business or practice as a lawyer, as a doctor, you have to know how to manage your business, operate your business, be the rainmaker, and handle the patients. It seemed like this lady ain't have no managerial skills. So, but be that as it may,
she about to let you go. 15 years loyalty to this lady. Helped her build her business, but she about to let you go.
Okay, so I can't say that Nisha has a lawsuit or any of these people that Nisha was talking about has a lawsuit, but I did definitely want to give you some big signs that you need to be aware of when you should be interviewing your employers. It's not just, we're in a post-pandemic, okay, working situation here, folks. Y'all need to be making sure that these employers match up with what you have going on, right? So I'm not saying that Nisha definitely has, Title VII claims or anything of that sort, but I did notice red signs. Now, the other Black girl that Nisha was talking about, the other who was there for 15 years or whatever have you, I don't know, there's some fishy stuff, that they were talking about. There was some illegal activity going on. If you go out to check out Nisha's video in its entirety, she did talk about some other potential illegal activity going on down there. So I don't know. We lawyers need facts, in order to evaluate against the law. But Anyway, for that and the more amazing, great content, you can check out the link, like, subscribe, and do all that other stuff below. And yeah, just y'all keep it a buck. Until the next time. It's the People's BBB, and I'm the People's Champ. Attorney Nick, y'all. Bye.